young people leading ways. Quiet We're strong as one.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling? Last day. It's crazy that we arrived to the last day already.
Yeah.
So, good morning to all here present in the room, and of course, greeting to those joining us online. Welcome to the closing session of the World Food Forum Youth Assembly 2025. My name is Andrea, and I'm excited to be here with all of you today, together with my wonderful co-moderator, Yang.
Thank you, Andrea. What an incredible week this has been. The Youth Assembly brought together young leaders, experts, and partners from all across the globe, all united by one mission, transforming our agri-food systems.
And we started this week with the Youth Assembly from policy to action, youth shaping global agri-food systems. And from that moment on, youth voices have been at the very heart of every conversation.
Throughout the week, young leaders from all 6 regions shared their priorities in the regional roundtables. The Youth Assembly also held 20 thematic dialogue on critical such as forestry, climate action, land irrigation, fishery, and agriculture. We convened dynamic spaces like the Young Farmers, Indigenous Youth, and Young Parliament roundtables.
Amazing. So these sessions showed the creativity, diversity, and determination of all young people, proving that youth are not just participants, but true drivers of transformation.
Youth inclusion isn't optional, it is essential. With us, please, it's our great honor to welcome Mr. Maximo Torello, the Chief Economic of FAO, and the champion of youth engagement in agri-food systems. Mr. Torello, the floor is yours.
So thank you so much for inviting me here to open this session. As you know, we started some time ago building this group. 4 years for now. And this was the music. So keep working hard. We will accomplish.
Amazing. I think these emotions were the real essence of this week and what has meant for all of us. And I would like to thank all the team that organized the World Food Forum. Please make for them a huge round of applause.
This leadership is not only recognized here within the FAO, but also in the global stage, where decision makers are paying close attention to what young people are driving forward.
So before we recap our progress over the last year, let us take a moment to reflect on the work of the Youth Assembly and the Youth Policy Boards over just this last week.
In the Utopia Room, you recall the Orange Room? The Youth Assembly team hosts 20 sessions, where the Youth Policy Board thoughtfully facilitated dynamic discussion between young people, policymakers, diverse stakeholders.
And through these discussions and sessions, we heard your priorities and, of course, a focus on a wide array of topics, varying from regions to thematic areas.
So, how many of you have attended at least one Youth Assembly session? Please raise your hands up. Wow, bellissimo.
What about at least 2 Youth Assembly sessions?
Ooh.
Okay.
Or up.
Even 3?
Wow.
Okay. Great participant. Let's see 4. Oh my God, we have Highlanders here. 5? We still have them. Okay, maybe we could keep going on with numbers. So
is there anyone want to share their feelings on attending the Youth Assembly sessions?
Now we will have kind of an interactive session. So you want to hear from you. This forum has always been about, of course, you standing up with your voice and ideas. So we'd like to hear from you. If there's any points of view, reflections about this week, by a show of hands, if you want to intervene, we'll have a mic there that will come at you. So please, there you go. We have a first hand there.
Over to you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Zainab. I'm from Palestine, and I live in Italy since 1 year. Actually, I was so lucky to have this chance to attend this forum. It's the first time that I enter the FAO headquarters, and you know, it's something because in Palestine there is no FAO. Unfortunately, Palestine is not a state member. So I felt so sad during these days that there is no reflection for the Palestinian heritage or any initiatives for Palestinian youth. I know politically it's difficult that our representatives do something, but at least the youth can do something for the Palestinian people, especially after this genocide that the hub previously talked about, especially that the man-made famine that was caused by the occupation. During the 2 years of war on Gaza, millions of dollars of loss in the field of agriculture, in addition, of course, to the famine that killed thousands of children and women and old men. And Israel is forbidding the flotillas that carries the milk and the flour to enter to these people. So I would like to shed the light on this thing in this forum, and I would like to make something that is sustainable to avoid this catastrophe to happen again by connecting to Palestinian youth or initiators to do such projects. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I truly believe that what you underscored that, you know, and what we saw these days is that agri-food system, food in general, has to be something to unite, to come together, and young people can definitely be part of this movement. So thank you very much for your remarks. And anyone else? We have a couple here in front.
So, okay, sorry. So, hello everyone. My name is Bahra Mustafa, and I'm from Morocco. I brought a couple of students here to attend this forum. We do sympathize with Palestine and the people of Gaza. We know that we wish that food should be for every mouth, whether you are rich or poor, whether you are from the developed countries or from the underdeveloped countries. And I hope that youth will be the driver of change for more peaceful world and for more equality and equity. Going back to the forum, I'm a teacher of English and I've been teaching for about 20 years. And I brought my students to empower them, to give them the chance to see what's going on in the world, and also to sensitize them to the importance of sustainable agriculture. But being here, although I have been teaching for 20 years, I started being inspired myself to the point that I said, okay, it's time that I change my job. I don't want to be a teacher anymore. When I see the youth, how they speak, how they, it is just amazing. And I really benefited a lot, and I am inspired, and I'm pretty sure that my students also. Amen. Amen is there? Amen. Okay, can you join me on the floor, please? So Amen, by the way, was kind of, I present at the side event. So Amen, also I would like you to talk to the audience and about your reflections about the World Food Forum. Okay, it's over to you.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone in the World Food Forum for this amazing opportunity to be here. And I'd like to say that the youth, I was personally amazed by how the youth in my age or even a little bit older can engage in such initiatives and such projects and such communication and exchange of communication. That was actually amazing, and it has been an amazing week. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that this week really showed what you just said, Amen. And thank you so much, Professor. Don't lose the focus on education, of course. I mean, that's one of the most important jobs, I would say, especially to drive this change. But I really am happy that this week inspired this passion inside all of us. So, I mean, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We would love to be having this engaging session. Unfortunately, we have, of course, as you know, a strict agenda. But please don't avoid, stimulating these connections and talking to each other and sharing your experience and your passion.
Okay, to talk about some of the key achievements of the Youth Assembly that has been throughout the year, please welcome Anna Aviles, Youth Policy Specialist from the Youth Assembly Secretaries, and Tony Malford from the WF Knowledge Management Team on the stage. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone, distinguished guests, colleagues, and young change makers joining us here today, and also to those of you online. My name is Ana Aviles.
And I'm Tony Mafo. We're delighted to be here with you today to share this year's progress and impact of the World Food Forum's Youth Assembly.
The Youth Assembly is a youth-led platform that empowers young people to engage meaningfully in policy and governance discussions around agri-food systems. It's a unique space within the United Nations system where youth leadership is not symbolic, but systemic.
Through dialogue, collaboration, and action, we are shaping a future where young people are recognized as partners and drivers of agri-food system transformation.
So far this year, in 2025, the Youth Assembly has hosted 38 sessions, representing over 50 hours of youth-led dialogue, capacity building, and consultations. Young people from more than 180 countries across every FAO region have participated and engaged with us.
Impressive, impressive. Now, more than 1,150 participants joined our capacity building activities. An additional 4,000 took part in policy consultations to help shape collective youth positions. In total, through regional and thematic consultations, surveys, side events, and training sessions, the Youth Assembly engaged 16,500 young people across the globe this year alone. Now, 71% of our participants came from the Global South. 52% of them are young women. This reflects our commitment to inclusivity and advancing leadership of young women across agri-food systems.
Very impressive numbers without even taking into account everything that we achieved this week and everyone who joined us. But when we look at our regional representation, we realize that almost half of our participants come from Africa, and this is followed in representation by Asia and the Pacific, Europe and Central Asia, then Latin America and the Caribbean, Near East and North Africa, followed by North America. We took those insights and we started to reflect that this does correlate with the reality that Africa has the youngest population in the world, but it also highlights areas where we can grow. Participation from Latin America and the Caribbean and the Near East and North Africa are comparatively lower to other regions, partly because many countries in these regions are non-English native speakers. And unfortunately, most of our consultations are held online in English without representation.
Now, we're seeing the gaps. To address this, we will host sub-regional consultations in region-specific languages to reach a broader audience and strengthen participations. Every single one of these interactions we know contributes immensely to our policy recommendations, ensuring the youth perspectives are reflected in intergovernmental processes and agri-food governance spaces.
Young people are not just participants, they're contributors to policy design, helping to shape a more inclusive and sustainable future for all. Thank you.
The achievement presented by Anna and Tony were truly impressive, but behind every number is a story of young people standing up and shaping the future of agri-food systems.
Exactly. So what we have seen is more than statistics. Building on that, we now turn to the Youth Policy Board to take us through the insightful Youth Assembly policy outputs produced in 2025.
Please welcome Youth Policy Board members Danny, Alif to present updated Youth Declaration on agri-food system, and Mariana update on another key outcome, the Youth Recommendation on Empower Young Women in Agri-Food System. Big applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the introduction, Jank. Excellencies, delegates, and fellow youth. This year, young people from every region of the world came together with one shared vision: to transform our global food systems so they nourish both people and the planet. Over the past year, we had held 6 virtual youth consultations, each bringing together young farmers, enablers, researchers, and indigenous youth who share their perspectives on what transformation means and how they are already working to transform agri-food systems that are culturally appropriate and innovative. More than 1,200 youth worked together on assemblies, surveys, and on-site action to bring together a united voice to transform agri-food systems. In May 2025, our collective journey came alive in Bangkok as over 100 young changemakers came together in person and more than 1,000 voices joined to strengthen the finalized zero draft of the updated Youth Declaration on Food Systems Transformation. When we opened it for public comment and held a final global consultation to integrate wider youth inputs. The declaration represents a synthesis of youth wisdom, science, and lived experience. It captures what we have learned through droughts and floods, through local innovation and global collaboration. It calls for transformation that is just, inclusive, and intergenerational, placing youth at the heart of decision-making, finance, and policy. Across 3 pillars, advocacy, action, and empowerment, the declaration outlines how young people are not just advocates, but also co-creators and co-governors of resilient food systems. It bridges indigenous knowledge with local solutions, local food traditions with circular economy models, and community with leadership. As one participant said in Bangkok, we are not asking for a seat at the table. We're building a longer one. And this declaration is our table, built by youth for all generations to share. And with that, I hand it over with Dev.
Thank you. Thank you, Danielle. The updated Youth Declaration was reviewed with the youth leadership, including World Youth Forum Youth Policy Board, SENA Youth representatives, and presented at UNFSS Plus 4 in Addis Ababa on 28 July 2025. But this is not the end of a process. It's just a start of a movement with clear next steps. First, accountability. We are advancing youth-led monitoring, scorecards, and regional reports to track how our priorities are reflected in national pathways and policy decisions, and to keep implementation transparent. Number second, collaboration. Through the World Food Forum's youth platforms, we will connect local youth innovations with policymakers, research institutions, and investors to scale what works from agroecology to circular economies. Third, continuity. It's important. The declaration is a living framework. It will evolve with every consultation, every local action, every partnership, strengthening the science, policy interface, and ensuring the youth remain right holders with the real decision power. This means youth are stepping into roles once reserved for decision makers, shaping agendas, co-designing programs, and safeguarding accountability as global commitments become national actions. So our message is simple but powerful. Transformation will not happen for youth. It will happen with youth. From Central Asia to Pacific, urban food innovators, from urban food innovators to rural young farmers. Again, our message is the same. Transformation becomes real when every young person has the power, tools, and trust to act, when we connect across borders to turn shared ideas into shared impact. So, as we close this year's World Food Forum, we don't close a chapter. So we are opening a brief new chapter, the next one. So together, we will keep building food systems that are inclusive, resilient, and just.
Systems that nourish people, planet, and also possibility.
So we are ready.
Thank you so much, Daniela and Elif, for sharing the work on the declaration. And now over to you, Marilena.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Can you hear me? Yes, now. And it's my great honor to present to you on behalf of my amazing team of Young Women's Empowerment, the policy recommendations on young women's empowerment in agri-food systems. So throughout 2025, we held a series of global youth consultations that brought together over 10,000 of young people from more than 100 countries. And these diverse voices and experience came together to co-create a youth-led roadmap that ensures young women are recognized and supported as key agents of change in agri-food systems. So each recommendations really reflect months of dialogue, peer validation, and collaboration between young people and experts across regions. And together, youth identified persistent barriers that young women face, ranging from limited access to finance and productive resources, underfunded education, unequal leadership opportunities, weak rural infrastructure, and deep-rooted social norms, just to name a few. And in response, the recommendations outline 10 priority areas for action. And you can explore them more in depth by scanning this QR code. But most importantly, these are not just like another policy document out there. They're a living youth-led framework for action, a practical tool for young change makers that they can implement and adapt to their own communities. And from the very beginning on, we worked hand in hand with the national chapters, and they played a really central role in shaping these processes. And moving forward, they will continue driving local implementation, building youth capacity, and fostering partnerships that turn these priorities into real impact. We're actually going to meet with them next week to discuss further implementation. And at the same time, we are calling on all stakeholders from government to international organizations, private sector, academia, to create enabling environments that actively support and scale youth-led initiatives. Because real transformation only happens when all actors collaborate and share responsibility. So as we look ahead to the International Year of Women Farmers in 2026, these youth recommendations represent a collective commitment to act. They remind us that empowering young women is not just a matter of equality, it's essential for building resilient, sustainable, and inclusive food systems. So thank you, and back to all of you.
A big thank you to the panel. Round of applause again. You have reminded us that true transformation only happens when every voice is included.
And that message is at the very center, at the very heart of everything that the Youth Assembly has stood for, making sure that diverse youth voices shape solutions for our agri-food systems.
Over the past 4 years, youth input and outcome have grown stronger year after year, laying the foundation for stronger global action.
And to see this journey come together, let's watch a short video showcasing the Youth Assembly's journey from 2021 to 2025, leading to the implementation of Global Youth Action Plan 2025-2026. Let's roll the video.
Around the world, young people are leading change. They're rethinking the way we produce and consume food. Together, they're building more sustainable agri-food systems. Their voices, ideas, and determination inspired a global movement, one that connects youth action across all regions. This movement became the Global Youth Action Plan 2025-2026. Over 4 years, thousands of young people shared their ideas, priorities, and hopes for the future. In 2021, youth identified policy priority areas under each of FAO's 4 betters. In 2022, through regional consultations and surveys, each region identified 5 key priorities reflecting youth perspectives and regional challenges. These findings were captured in the World Food Forum Youth Action 2022 Regional Compendium. In 2023 and 2024, over 3,000 young people participated in a global consultation process to refine these regional priorities. Through these discussions, they identified 1 key policy priority area per region and designed 2 actionable items to bridge the policy gaps found. These collective efforts led to the creation of the Global Youth Action Plan 2025-2026, which brings together youth-led solutions from all regions. Support the implementation, see it come to life in your communities, and join the movement.
Back again! What an incredible journey! From 4 years of consultations to real youth-led action on the ground. Now, let's explore how the first year of the Global Youth Action Plan implementation had brought up these youth-led solutions to life across the world. Now, to take us in more detail through the impact created by the Youth Policy Board and young changemakers across the globe, we would hear from Aizudin Sawi, Youth Policy Specialist from the Youth Assembly Secretaries, and Edward Huntley from the WFF Knowledge Management Team. Together, they will present overall achievement of the first year. Welcome, Aizudin and Edward.
Thank you, Yang and Andrea, for the floor. Good morning and hello. dear distinguished guests, partners, and colleagues. Today, we are very pleased to be standing here in front of you for the closing session of the Youth Assembly. As mentioned in the video, me and my colleague Edward will showcase to you the Global Youth Action Plan that is youth-led roadmap that turns policy into action through regionally adapted solutions. So now me and my colleague Edward will showcase the implementation of the Global Youth Action Plan so far.
Thank you, Azzedine. It has been an amazing year for the implementation of the Global Youth Action Plan, conducting a total number of 18 engagements. This included 9 capacity development workshops, 6 surveys, 2 consultations, and a stakeholder roundtable. More than 6,600 youth were engaged, out of which 4,800 directly participated in our activities, with representation across all 6 regions. Now, 40% of our participants attended more than once, ensuring meaningful engagement and developing a network of youth that spans the globe. However, we consistently aimed to get new participants, to get fresh ideas and fresh perspectives.
Yes, in our effort to amplify the perspective of young people, we consulted over more than 3,500 young people. More of the 75% of them came from the Global South. Still, we are striving for inclusivity, with 50% of our participants being women. While we had an incredible representation from the Global South, we had international reach as well, with participants from more than 130 FAO member states. Throughout the year, the 9 capacity building sessions were conducted in 4 regions as per their priorities. These regions are Asia and the Pacific, Europe and Central Asia, Near East and North Africa, and North America, with over 1,100 participants.
I mean, in terms of collaborations, we worked with 23 different organizations in the implementation of the Global Youth Action Plan. This included research and academic institutions, non-governmental organizations, and youth-led groups, including the World Food Forum national chapters and academic delegations. So far, we have raised 20,000 USD for trainer-trainer programs, innovation competitions, and a range of other activities. Now, with 21,000 views on social media and counting, we are building momentum.
Yes, and this is just a starting point. In 2026, we want to scale up this action and include more youth voices in transforming the agri-food system to a more resilient, sustainable, and inclusive system. We have hit almost 40% of our key performance indicators for all the regions. For Africa, to enhance the digital skills of the youth. For Asia and the Pacific, to raise awareness on the food labeling and nutrition topics. For Europe and Central Asia, to raise awareness on food loss. For Latin America and the Caribbean, to educate youth about accessing credit. For Near East and North Africa, to promote the youth-led innovations. And for the North America region, to raise awareness on food waste. Thank you, and back to Andrea.
Thank you so much, guys. What an inspiring opportunity to hear from you. So to keep this momentum going and delve even deeper into what impact looked like across the globe, we would now like to welcome our own Avengers, the Youth Policy Board regional members, to share the regional highlights and key messages. So please let us welcome to the stage Feisako Akande and hold the wonderful team of the Youth Policy Board regional. Please
welcome.
Give it up.
Thank you, Andre, for the warm welcome. Good morning, all. My name is Faye Shayo. Can you all hear me? Oh, my name is Faye Shayo, and I have the honor, on behalf of the African Youth Policy Board this year, has been nothing short of inspiring across Africa. We have witnessed renewed hope for youth engagement in the agri-food system, alongside real progress in the digital innovations, capacity building, and meaningful partnership across the continent. Our policy priority in African region is to support smallholder families, women, and young farmers by enhancing their capacity through targeted trainings and workshops on digital technologies, and to strengthen partnership with research institutions and promote climate-smart agriculture. In the last year, we've been working so hard on this goal, and we've had quite numbers of achievements. We have established 4 strong partnerships within African region. We received a 3,500 USD grant to launch a training of trainers program in Nigeria, and this reached about 50 trainers and 350 participants. And when it comes to youth engagement, it has been really remarkable. More than 3,000 young people showed interest in our activities, with over 2,200 active participation. And just last month, we hosted our first Agri Voice series, bringing together over 400 youth across Africa to talk about inclusive policies, innovations, and youth-led solutions for transforming our food system. These numbers represent more than just participation. They represent a movement of young Africans who are ready to move from awareness to action and from policy to dialogues to fuel transformation. And as we close this year World Food Forum, our message from Africa is clear. Invest in youth-led solutions, include youth, women, and local farmers' voices in policy decisions. The transformation of our agri-food system will not just happen in these meeting rooms alone or this week alone. It will happen in our farms, our schools, our community, and where young people are already driving change. The African Region Youth Policy Board is looking forward to collaborating with you all, starting from the young farmers to startups, governments, and non-governmental organizations. So this is our call to action. Together, let's hold each other hand in hand for a better food and a better future for all in Africa. Over to you, Anita.
Thank you, Faisayo, and a very good morning to distinguished delegates, youth leaders, and everybody present here. I'm Ranita Krishnamurthy, leading the Asia and Pacific region for the Youth Policy Board. It's honestly an honor to be here in Rome, and I'm really looking forward to share our key achievements in Asia and the Pacific region. All right, to start off, allow me to share of our achievements. So firstly, in June in Malaysia, we organized 2 on-ground nutrition workshops covering over 300 rural women and youths in Selangor State, which is one of the rural states in Malaysia, in Dengkil area. And the other achievements that we had was, in preparation for our capacity building workshop that we did in August, we actually engaged with 4 educational institutions and 3 youth networks to bring together youth voices regionally across the Asia and Pacific region. All right, and then after that, we also did an on-ground workshop in Pakistan, where we collaborated with civil society organizations, Ministry of Maritime Affairs, Skillistan, to actually engage with youth and also children and organize an on-ground workshop for them in Karachi, Pakistan. And moving forward for our next steps in Asia and Pacific region, we're actually going to be organizing the first Regional Nutrition Labeling Literacy Week in January 2026, and we really look forward to collaborating with all youth across the region. So please come forward if you're interested to collaborate, especially the national chapters from various civil society organizations. And we are also looking forward to work with our governments in our countries to conduct on-ground workshops for youth in the field of nutrition as well as sustainable production. And over to you, Andres. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ranita, for sharing these insights. And hello, everyone. I'm very happy to share a quick update on the progress of the Europe and Central Asia region. So over the past months, our regional team has been working to connect and strengthen youth action across a very diverse region. We really focused on collaboration and capacity building. First, we launched the Europe and Central Asia Stakeholder Network, which now brings together 31 young leaders working in youth-led initiatives and agri-food organizations. So this network is really our foundation for collaboration and dialogue. And then we delivered the first of 3 capacity building modules on food loss, which has engaged already over 160 young participants. So the sessions are designed to build concrete skills and policy literacy. So the idea was really for us to help young people take an active part in food systems transformation. The second session will take place on 20 October, so that's Monday. So we'd be very happy to see you join us for that. Then after that, we also looked at creating a stakeholder network. So for that, that's the idea really behind the social media campaign in order to complement the modules and raise awareness about youth-driven food loss solutions. So in the many inspiring initiatives that are already making a difference within our region, we want to showcase that and put a platform for it. So, and our last milestone that we've achieved is that during the 2025 World Food Forum flagship event, we recorded the first episode of our regional podcast. And the idea behind is really to highlight, again, the creative and inspiring initiatives already in place that are combating food loss. And looking ahead, so in 2026, we will really focus in implementation. So the plan is to launch the Cultural Heritage Hub. So it's a space where rural youth can connect with cultural heritage and sustainability. We will also scale up the Celebrate Rural Roots storytelling campaign to showcase youth-led initiatives from both Central Asia and Eastern Europe. And finally, we are seeking support from partners to identify policy entry points on food loss on the region. We are also trying to find partners to engage in terms of rural youth champions so that we can build and collaborate for the Cultural Heritage Hub. And together, these actions will strengthen youth participation and ensure that the voices of our region can shape the future of sustainable agri-food systems. Thank you. And María José, te cedo la palabra.
Gracias, Andrés. And good morning, everyone. Buenos días a todos y todas. It is a true honor to be here today to share the efforts we have led as a team from Latin America and the Caribbean. But first, I would like to remind everyone of the policy priority we are working to put into action. That is, support the sharing of knowledge on finance, credit, and funding with diverse right holders while preserving, recognizing, and valuing indigenous knowledge to strengthen agroecology and local nature-based solutions for biodiversity conservation and climate change mitigation. Quite ambitious, right? But in our region, we embrace the challenge and we're turning into 4 main actions. First, we created the Avanza program, a financial literacy initiative with 3 components. 1, a financial literacy material series. 2, a training of trainees for agri-food champions. And 3, a multiplication strategy. And for this, we connected already with 5 key regional organizations. Through their expertise and networks, we developed a learning toolkit made up of 10 chapters in 3 languages for the agri-food champions training. And second, we created the collective document called Transformative Pathways to Scale Local Solutions. We shared recommendations for private sector, governments, and youth to close key gaps in our agri-food systems. And we shared it through 2 of 7 planned policy dialogues. The first one was with the Rural Development Ministry of Brazil, and the second one with the Coffee Institute of Costa Rica to support the design of their youth policy. Third, we developed a communication campaign strategy to amplify the voices of marginalized youth in the region, highlighting their leadership, ancestral knowledge, and nature-based solutions for sustainable and resilient food systems. And fourth, we are facilitating a series of intercultural dialogues for the earth to the creation of a working group with indigenous leaders from the region. And we have a +1. We are co-coordinating the very first consultation to present a joint statement for the next FAO regional meeting. And with that, I will finish that we already planted the first seeds of change, but seeds only grow when we nurture them together. Latin America and the Caribbean are showing that transformation is possible when we bring together knowledge, innovation, and purpose. So I invite you to join this movement, to invest, to collaborate, and amplify these actions that are already transforming our agri-food systems, and from the local to the global level. And thank you so much, and over to you, Nada.
Gracias, María José. Assalamu alaikum. So in the Near East and North Africa region, as Youth Policy Board, we've been working to support better life and work condition of rural people, especially minorities in agri-food system by promoting environmentally and socially friendly agricultural practices. Under our first actionable item, to establish an innovation hub for agri-entrepreneurs and young farmers. A total of 30,000 USD has been committed to support the launch of our Youth Innovation Hub. This program will begin right after this flagship event and continue through 2026, offering mentorship, capacity building, and funding for youth-led projects that promote sustainability and innovation in agri-food system. Under our second actionable item to promote accessible education for sustainable agriculture practices, we received 1,400 USD micro grant to implement trainings of trainers in Tunisia, focusing on empowering rural women. We trained 5 young local trainees who then created an online educational videos to make the knowledge accessible to everyone. Each video included a knowledge test, and participant who passed received a certificate of completion, helping us reach more than 200 young people online. Starting next week, our trainees will begin applying their learning directly with rural women in person, bringing this knowledge to the community that needed us the most. Beyond this initiative, we built a network of 7 strategic partners across the region and launched a LinkedIn page that reached over 700 followers in just 2 months, creating a space for youth engagement and collaboration. We have also organized a youth-led dialogue as part of the UN Youth Office initiative, with bringing together over 200 young people from our region, where they share their experience and the vision for the future of agri-food system. Their ideas will guide the implementation of the Innovation Hub and the drafting of our upcoming youth recommendation paper for FAO Regional Office conference next year. These achievements show how youth can do what youth can do when given trust and space to lead. And so I want to end this message with saying that within a short time period and with limited resources, we have achieved real impact. Imagine what could have happened if youth received stronger concrete opportunities and long-term institutional support. We, the Near East and North Africa youth, are not only ready to lead, we are already leading, and invite you all to follow our journey, partner with us, and support youth-led action to make agri-food system more sustainable, inclusive, and fair for everyone. Thank you. Et à vous, Chanel.
Merci et bonjour tout le monde. Thank you, all of you, for sticking around to the end. I will make this very quick. When the Global Youth Action Plan was launched, the North America region set itself the priority of promoting a timely and sustainable transition towards a closed-loop food system that minimizes waste and maximizes resource efficiency. Ambitious. Obviously, the transformation of a regional economy does not happen overnight, but over the past few months, through our food waste workshop series, we've been able to speak with and learn from over 10 youth experts and leaders in the field who are highlighting various initiatives that are already underway. And the level of engagement and energy that we had from the over 160 participants was truly incredible and really hit on a central message that change is possible, that change is already happening. As a Youth Policy Board, we are dedicated to building on that momentum, and we invite all of you to follow us as we launch into the next phase of our Global Action Plan. Over the past few months, in addition to the food waste stuff, the North America Regional Youth Policy Board has had the privilege and the opportunity to work with the Global Indigenous Youth Caucus to create a partnership framework that will serve as a bridging mechanism between our Youth Policy Board of North America and members of Indigenous peoples across the region. This is just the beginning of a partnership that we hope and believe will yield more targeted and more reflective policies that actually reflect perspectives of young Indigenous people. And I want to thank all the people whose time and effort and boundless patience has gone into that initiative, because for me, that collaboration and all of the conversations and the partnerships and the activities that have been happening all week long have been such a source of energy and of hope, and I genuinely believe that we young people, hand in hand, are creating a better future. Thank you all, and back to you, Yang and Andrea.
Before we go any further, let's give amazing Youth Policy Board regional members some well-deserved applause. Thank you to all the Youth Policy Board regional members for those powerful reflections. Hearing the impact created in different countries of the world truly spotlight the power of youth in driving toward the transformation.
And now, it's getting to the end, unfortunately. But to set the stage for the year ahead and to close our session, it's our pleasure to welcome Mr. Kazuki Kitaoka, Director of the FAO Office of Youth and Women, to deliver the closing remarks. Please, Kazuki, the floor is yours.
Thanks so much, Andrea. And this was a very long week of consultations. No, 20 sessions of the Youth Assembly in 3 days. That's a marathon. And all of that around 15, 20 different topics. I don't even remember anymore. That's a marathon. But this marathon was worth it. I think what we just saw here on stage with the conclusions that were coming out of these consultations is phenomenal. And 5 years ago, when we started with this project as an inclusive youth consultation body, the Youth Assembly, I think somebody said a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step and so on. I have the feeling that by today, we are now 5 years in, we have made a very, very far way on these 1,000 miles. And we really see in all the regions so much action happening, action that is coming from consultations, from inclusive and diverse consultations on the transformation of agri-food systems that we would like to see happening around the world, that you would like to see young people involved in this around the world. And of course, the consultations here are only the starting point. We are now going back into the everyday life next week. And what is happening then? We have fantastic outcomes. We have ideas for projects. We have forged partnerships. We have even money on the table already. So the next step needs to be implementation and work at the country level, work with your communities, work with your schools, work with your cities, work with your politicians, work with your parliamentarians, work with your governments, work with your parents, work with everybody that may have an interest in the transformation that you would like to see, and make this a reality, what you have been discussing in these 20 sessions, in these many, many thematic consultations this week. And with that, I'm sure that we will meet in a year's time, even further down on these 1,000 miles, much closer to the transformation and the new type of, I think Chanel said, no, a new type of agri-food system that is fit for the future, fit for a better production, a better nutrition, better environment, a better life. And this is, I'm saying that not lightly, because I know it sounds a bit like the FAO slogan these days, but actually there is real meaning to it, because what I see is that all the consultations were, in one form or another, really shaping these 4 better aspects. And with this, I think it is up to me to close this assembly this year. But I don't want to close the assembly, because I'm just facilitating, obviously. So I would like to perhaps ask the YPB members coming back and close the assembly actually on behalf of all of those who have been included in the consultations, because it's you who have been shaping all these outcomes. It's you who have been consulting over the year with 16, 20,000 young people from around the world. It is you who have been managing all of this work that has gone into the conclusion documents that were just presented in a very short period of time, and that have really included the sweat and blood of so many people and the Zoom lines of so many hours over the past year. And perhaps together we can say with this we close this year's Youth Assembly. And I thank all of you, and I thank all of those who have been working on this so hard. And perhaps this is the moment for a picture as well. And yeah, with that, I close the Youth Assembly of this year. Thank you.
I need that better, better.